Our assignment by Blaine, Millie, John and Oliver will be analysing the steps taken in the consumer decision-making process in the purchase of the Beko WMY7046LB2 7kg front-loading washing machine. For brevity, we will be calling it the Beko washing machine, and to make recommendations on how Beko could best market their washing machines. Beko is a Turkish-run organisation and is a subsidiary of Coke Holdings. The consumer decision-making process is this 5-step process in which a consumer goes through when making a purchase decision. These being the need recognition, the information search, evaluation of alternatives, purchase decision, and post-purchase steps. It is important as before selling a product, if an organisation fails to understand how consumers may respond to products, it could lead to a loss in profit. However, the consumer decision process is very complicated due to people having different attitudes towards purchasing. It is therefore important to understand the consumer decision-making process for a marketer to be successful in selling their product and retaining their customers. In this presentation, we will be applying the theory of the consumer decision-making process to our fictitious case studies of Bob, who is a university student in his early 20s and has just moved into a share house, and the fictional couple of Jack and Jill, who recently moved into a new house with their 2 primary school-aged children. We will be talking about how they move through the steps of need recognition, information search, evaluation of alternatives, purchase decision, and post-purchase behaviour. Throughout each step, we will also be giving recommendations on how Beko Australia could improve their marketing strategies. The need recognition is the first step in the consumer decision-making process and is the most important step. It is a step in which the hypothetical average person of Bob and the hypothetical average couple of Jack and Jill will recognise a need to purchase a washing machine. A need differs from a want, as a need is something a person requires to have in order to live and function properly, while they can be psychological, personal, or socio-economical. A want, however, differs in that a want is something people desire to have to enjoy themselves. According to Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the first 2 levels of needs are basic needs. These are the psychological needs of warmth, water, and rest, and safety needs of security and safety, which would both apply to the need for a washing machine, as they would provide warm clothes and would provide security and safety for the clothes that they have. In this case, the hypothetical character Bob is an average person in his 20s moving into a share house, and a young family couple, Jack and Jill, who will need to purchase a washing machine for their house to wash clothes. Bob, Jack, and Jill needs can be triggered both externally and internally. The internal stimuli being the psychological desire for a washing machine to ensure that they are warm in clean clothes. It can also be triggered externally by word of mouth in discussions with other people, or through seeing or hearing advertisements. Bob, Jack, and Jill will be looking for a product that is safe and reliable, that can last a long time, which relates back to Maslow's 2nd levels of need, safety, and security, as if they would want a product that is safe and can secure themselves for a long time economically. Because Bob and Jack and Jill will be affected by external sources, it is recommended that the Beko washing machine focus more on online ads on Facebook and Instagram and through television advertising. We would advertise online through platforms such as Facebook and Instagram with posts that show it is an affordable, reliable good which would appeal to average millennials such as Bob. We'd also sponsor relevant popular television programs such as The Block and Better Homes and Gardens, and through television commercials we will show it as a luxury good but an affordable good that the people need to show others so that they are wealthy to appeal to consumers like Jack and Jill. They will be looking for a washing machine that is strong, safe, and reliable, so it would be a good idea for the Beko front-loading washing machine to have a name that reflects that.
Once Bob, Jack, and Jill have decided that they need a new washing machine, they'll then go through the process of information searching. A few key factors that Bob will be looking for is he'll be looking for something that is affordable, he's on a low income. He'll be looking for something that's smallish so it can fit inside his new apartment. And he may also be looking for a certain few features. For example, if Bob does a lot of sports, he might be looking for like a sports clothing option. Jack and Jill, on the other hand, again, they're looking for something affordable, but they want something that looks somewhat luxurious. They'll also be looking for a few features because they're in a family environment. They might want something that has pet hair removal or like dirt removal. In this day and age, it's fair to say that the majority of consumers will do a lot of information searching online, which means Beko, to be successful, needs to have an online presence. Our two case study subjects may also find information by talking to friends or family, but Beko has little control over this. However, they do have a lot of control of what they post online. My recommendations for Beko were to spend a bit of money to have their name appear in search engines when washing machine is entered. That way Bob or Jack and Jill will quickly find their products and consider them, rather than viewing competitors' products and settling for them even though they might not even consider like other products such as Beko. I would also suggest encouraging satisfied customers to leave good reviews, as reading reviews is a large part of information searching that Bob or Jack and Jill will take part in. Reading good reviews will help convince these two case study subjects that the Beko washing machine is the right washing machine for them.
Evaluation of alternatives in the consumer decision-making progress is to develop a set of criteria by which the customer judges the options available. These criteria are formed in the information search phase and in the need recognition phase. Many of these criteria are nothing that's ever sort of tangibly specific, but are just general needs that the consumer has. For example, they might be poor, so they can only afford a product that costs a certain amount of money. Or they live in a small house or apartment, therefore they can only afford to purchase something that fits within that environment. For these reasons, the large number of products that they might find in the information search phase are then narrowed down and narrowed down and narrowed down until we lead into the purchasing of an individual product. In the case of our example customers, Bob and Jack and Jill, they have different criteria for buying a washing machine, but they have some similarities. So both Bob and Jack and Jill both need a machine that is of lower cost as possible. They also both need a machine that will fit inside a small laundry. The difference though between the two is that Bob needs one that will last for a long time and is very reliable and is also easy to use and easy to maintain. In Jack and Jill's case, they need one that looks good, that provides a form of social currency, but they also need one that is environmentally friendly because they're environmentally conscious, and also able to handle large amounts of clothing because they have 2 young children. The below table demonstrates this example of our evaluation of alternatives in a much more visual and easy to understand manner. The top row shows the criterion that have been chosen for this case, and the first column on the left shows all the products, including our product, the Beko washing machine, that are being used for consideration. I should note that all of the machines in this case all come from the same source, appliancesonline.com, and this is to solidify the example in a real-world case scenario. During the information search phase and during the evaluation of alternatives phase, whether this happens online or in store, these products will be side by side next to each other, either from the same retailer or from the same store, and so in order for our machine to stand out, it needs to be able to be held up against machines that will be competing directly with it, perhaps even on the same website or store. All of the machines are all within the $400 to $600 range, and all of the machines except for one are 7 kilo front load washing machines. The very bottom one is a 9 kilo machine, and that's there to demonstrate that while Jack and Jill specifically need a machine that can have a large carrying capacity, that one criteria won't solely decide their purchasing decision. So while the 9 kilogram machine meets that criteria far better than every other machine on the list, it's also the most expensive machine on the list, and it's also the largest machine on the list. So while it has one big tick in the holding capacity column, it loses out on price, physical size, and Energy Star rating. Our machine, on the other hand, has a 4-star Energy Star rating, is not the smallest machine, but it is within the standard deviation of the machines on this list. It's a 7 kilo machine, so not as big, but big enough. and it's also one of the cheapest on the list, coming in right around the middle at 562 Australian dollars.
Marketing recommendations for the evaluation of alternatives phase. There are two key recommendations that we would make to better influence a customer's decision during this phase. The first one being highlighting the key difference in our product versus other competing products, and that is the competitive price. This should be done through social media posts as well as print media. And while we're doing these highlighting competitive pricing, we should also highlight its luxurious look and feel as a product that you can get that is luxurious without breaking the bank. The second key point is to change the name of the washing machine from the Beko WMY7046LB2, which is difficult to remember, to something that is much more memorable. And the name, while being memorable, should also be a name that conveys reliability and affordability.
Once Bob, Jack and Jill have eliminated all alternatives and they have decided that the Beko washing machine is the washing machine for them, they must then go to the process of actually physically buying the product. This may be done in two ways. They could order the machine online and have it shipped to their house, or they could go to one of many consumer appliance retail stores and purchase the product for themselves. While Bob, Jack and Jill may be intending to buy the Beko washing machine, their decision may still change based upon situational factors. For example, a salesperson in store may convince Bob or Jack and Jill that a different washing machine is better. Another factor might be that the stores nearby the customers don't actually stock the product that they want, forcing Bob or Jack and Jill to switch to a different product. For this reason, one of my recommendations to Beko would be to ensure that they make deals with as many retail brick and mortar stores as possible, to ensure that they have a widespread reach so that anyone who might want to buy their product can do so. Another recommendation would be to make sure there's always enough stock in all the locations that sell their product, as it would add to a bad customer experience if they were to rock up to a store and to find that the product they want is not in store. This may even result to Bob or Jack and Jill switching to another product, just for convenience sake. Lastly, I would recommend adding a store locator to the Beko website, so that if someone were to view their website, it is easy and a seamless way for customers to make the decision to purchase the product immediately after viewing.
Post-purchase evaluation is the assessment of the consumer's attitudes towards the product after the purchase. This allows marketers to understand whether the purchase motive has been achieved and thus whether the product has been successful. This can be determined by the customer's satisfaction with the product. There are many reasons why customers may feel satisfied with this product. So firstly, this washing machine can wash clothes in just 14 minutes, which would appeal to many consumers, from young adults like Bob to families like Jack and Jill who don't want to spend a lot of time on their laundry. This feature is due to Beko's patented ProSmart inverter motor technology, which allows the machine to run more efficiently while consuming less energy. Secondly, the machine has a program designed to wash sports clothes, which would be useful to both of the previously mentioned audiences. Its pet hair and anti-allergy functions would satisfy parents like Jack and Jill, because many families have pets and toddlers and babies generally have sensitive skin. Beko also offers a 5-year warranty on the machine, as well as a 10-year warranty on their ProSmart inverter motor technology, which would give consumers peace of mind. Another positive factor is the price of the product. So as we've previously discussed, in comparison to many of its other competitors, this product is offered at a much lower price. However, there are also factors that may lead to customer dissatisfaction. For instance, the washing machine may not perform at the standards that were claimed by Beko, or customers might find another product that offers functions that this product doesn't have. If this washing machine proves to be below the consumer standards, then this would arouse anxiety and dissatisfaction towards the product, also known as cognitive dissonance. In this case, the consumer will attempt to eliminate the conflict between the dissatisfaction of the product performance and the expectation of making the right purchase decision, which brings us to our next point. If customers are dissatisfied with their purchase, they won't be as likely to make a repeat purchase of either the brand or the product,
since it doesn't fulfill their needs. The product would also be likely to be abandoned or returned by the customer. They may also negatively review this to other people. On the other hand, if the product either meets or exceeds the customer's expectations, it would be likely to result in customer loyalty, which leads them to make repeat purchases as well as recommend it to their peers. In order to avoid cognitive dissonance, we recommend that Beko Australia follows up with customers by effectively communicating with them post-purchase to clarify any queries or doubtful points that the customers may have, and it would in turn reassure them that they've made the right purchase decision. The company could also send feedback surveys via email 2 weeks after purchase to measure their customer satisfaction, as it would make the customer feel that they're being supported and that their concerns are being heard. They could also provide discounts such as 10% off the next purchase from the brand, as it could help build up customer loyalty as well as increase the likelihood of repeat purchases.
In this presentation, we've described and analysed how the typical consumer of 2 different demographics would go through the consumer decision-making process. Firstly, consumers would enter this process by recognising the need for a new washing machine. Secondly, since it is a high-involvement product, they would spend time searching for more information. Thirdly, they would evaluate their options based on the criteria that they have set. And next, they would make a purchase decision based on this evaluation. Lastly, their post-purchase attitude towards the product will determine whether or not they would repurchase or recommend the product to others. It is important to understand the consumer decision-making process in the context of this washing machine, as it will allow you, the marketers, to tailor marketing strategies to suit the needs of the target demographic, which would in turn increase the popularity of the product among consumers, thus increasing sales.